Welcome to the Visual Road and Bridge Integrated Management System. This morning we're going to take a look at complete accounting. Once we log in, defaults, you can change your security settings, go to Utilities and configure system security. Complete accounting module, there's several different ways you can get to it. One way is to enter a C from the quickest menu about 3 or 4 times and highlight complete accounting and press enter, or go to the menus and do the main menu. This time we're going to use the main menu because it groups, we'll get rid of this menu, it groups the complete accounting modules all together. As contrasted to Fund Accounting Lite, which is much faster, easier to use. In the complete accounting, we go through the cycle of creating a purchase order. When the material is received, we create a receiver which closes the purchase order. Then that receiver then falls to accounts payable, and the payment is made, and then it falls into accounts history. Over on invoicing side, we have basically created an invoice, then it falls into the open accounts receivable once it's mailed to the person to be billed, and once received, the money then closes into the accounts receivable history. All of everything closes into the journals, which general journal, purchase journal, receipts journal, and to check any variances, just click the out. If you have any records here, those are the postings that need to be corrected. The budget module basically works very similar to the Fund Accounting Lite. The difference is here you classify all your accounts you're using. In Fund Accounting Lite, it only takes track of the expenses module, which everyone who uses our system just logs their general ledger numbers as the expense elements. Most of the other inventory or other accounting is done in the county clerk, city clerk, parish clerk level. So let's do a cycle on creating a purchase order. And we'll create a purchase order, clicks the big blue plus or the F8 function key to create the header record for a purchase order. Here we identify who the vendor is and the date the transaction will be made. All the test data on this particular data set is 2008. We don't know a warrant or check number at this time, but we do know the purchase order number. And then we add the address. If it were loaded for this vendor, the address and address to, as well as city, state, zip would be preloaded for you. The fund is the fund. The payment will be made for this purchase. In other words, what will be debited in your account. Now, to add the line items on the invoice, you just click on the inventory. You can do a lookup if we'll say we're going to buy a Y-intersection sign. The vendor item number might be whatever theirs is. It's 30 by 30 HI. The measure is each. We're going to enter the unit cost, which will be on the vendor quote sheet, like 38.45 0.25 or whatever. We'll order 6 of those. And these will go into inventory, so we'll click the inventory button. If you want to hit your journal ledger account number at this point, you can charge it to a particular journal ledger account number. This would be signs, signals, post, signs. Okay, so it'd be this is your own GL account, so they would be your numbers. Then we, because we're posting it to inventory, we click OK. And we've created one line item. You can add as many line items as you want to that particular vendor under that PO number, the 1, 2, 3, 4. This is an automatic numbering system for the purchase order number for the system to keep track of it. Then you can line up as many purchase orders as you want with as many line items you want. When you're ready, click the print PO, and then it will print each purchase order to the screen. You can fire them out to the printer and they're ready for mailing. If all the POs printed okay, click the POs printed okay. They fall from here down into the receivers. When the material comes in, you go to the receivers, you double click to open each receiver, and then you go to the line item, which then lists the line item, and if it was received, you click post to the journal ledger, okay, and okay. And if this is all the line items on it and closes that purchase order number, you click here, OK to close it. At that point, the receiver falls on through into accounts payable. To see the accounts payable, we basically can bring up the record. If we're paying the payment to close the entry, or to close this particular purchase, we just click over here for the total amount of the dollar amount, click OK. Post the item and close the item, and then it falls into the accounts payable history. That was this particular purchase error that we made at that time. This excuse me, then all falls down to the budget. I believe it was a 303, signs 303.01. We'll look at it. We'll bring up that particular budget line item, and we can see the budget next to the previous year's budget. And now we'll take a look at the invoicing side. You create an invoice. We need to add the header record for it to describe the customer, and we'll say this is a customer. This is in your vendor listing. We'll say this is BOM, select, and then it loads all the description and addressing and all. The fund that the money will go back into when received, and then we create the line item. Now you can enter the description of that line item, put your own dollar amount on it, and then it will add it to the line items in the inventory, or you can actually close a whole project into the invoice. We'll say this is a community project or something. You would have a project here if you bill out your weed control spraying or culvert installs for private citizens. You can create a project to segregate those costs. Anyway, you would select the project, click the update to update the costs, so you get all of them included. OK, and then close, and then you have that full dollar amount with a description which you can add to. You click OK, and you post it, and then it adds that line item, and then as many as you want to. When you close the invoice, then you can print the invoices for mailing, and hit the printer here to fire them on out. And then if they did print OK, we'll click there. Now back on the receiving or purchase and receiving side, we close that on out. I'll go to AP history to see that entry. This was the entry, and we'll take a look at it. This was the inventory description was Y intersection sign. So let's go over to the inventory, and we'll see the post into inventory when we purchase that. And whoops, I hit an extra button there. Inventory materials, and then enter a Y from the keyboard to get down to that line item, and press the enter key to open it. And then this is that line item that we purchased 6 Y intersection signs. We click back to inventory item, and we'll see the beginning inventory was 7. We purchased the 6 just now. Gives you an on hand of 13. And the dollar amount to begin and the purchases that we added. And then it gives you the historical average inventory dollar amount for each unit. So we followed through from the creating a purchase order to a receiver to receive the material, and accounts payable was made, and it follows the accounts payable history. On the invoicing side, we created an invoice. We create an open AR. Oh, by the way, on the open AR, it will age your dollars. So you can see 0 to 30 days or over 90, whatever. And let's see. On the accounts payable side, we also age. We don't have any dollars in here to age because we paid the invoice, but it will age your dollar amounts on there. So that pretty much covers the complete accounting module. If you have any questions, give us a call or email. We can also set up individual training sessions with a webinar.